Hello everybody and welcome to the NetSuite Release 2021.1 Update Highlight and Summary presented by Squire. Before we get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Caden and I'm a member of the NetSuite Implementation and Support team here at Squire. I'll be running you through the new updates to NetSuite. Before we get into the updates, a few comments about this presentation. NetSuite's 2021.1 update includes over 100 enhancements and new features. Due to the unique needs of each business, we will not be diving deeply into any new feature. Rather, we will briefly touch on some of the more useful and widespread features and enhancements that you might want to be aware of. We've placed timestamps in the description below, so you can jump ahead to the sections you are most interested in. However, we recommend that you watch the majority of the presentation so you don't miss out on any important updates. Lastly, if you have any questions about anything mentioned in this video, contact your NetSuite experts here at Squire, and we'd be happy to help. Now some notes about the update. These features and others will become available to use in your account when it is upgraded to NetSuite 2021.1. NetSuite is currently rolling out release previews, which is a great way to see some of these updates in action before they are implemented fully. I'll hop over to NetSuite to show you how to request and access the preview. But first, as a note, it is important to remember that day one of the update tends to be buggy. Many problems you encounter are likely due to these bugs. However, if NetSuite is giving you a specific error message, please contact one of our NetSuite experts for help. Now, let's look at how to request the release preview, and then we'll get into the update. To request your release preview, follow the release preview instructions in the new release window of your homepage. Go to Setup, Company, and scroll down to Release Preview. On the Release Preview page, select the Request Release Preview button. This will send NetSuite a request for a Release Preview account, which you can use to explore and test the new features before they become live in your account. After a few days, you'll be able to access your Release Preview account by selecting a role marked RP from your role list. Now into the updates. We'll start things off with some changes to accounting features in NetSuite. The new advanced numbering feature in NetSuite 2021.1 allows for more flexible numbering structure for documents and transactions. If you are operating in a country with specific numbering requirements, you can use this to create multiple complex numbering sequences per transaction type, fiscal year, and more. The feature uses two key components. The advanced numbering rule set acts as a collection of advanced numbering rules for one transaction type. The advanced numbering rule is how you define your numbering scheme, which can include fiscal year or transaction date expressions. The 21.1 update includes new behavior for unbilled receivables using grouping. All unbilled receivable adjustment journal entries for contract assets now post to the Revenue Elements Deferred Revenue account, instead of using the unbilled receivable adjustment journal grouping setting. Additionally, there is a new accounting preference called Exclude Contract Assets from FX Reclassification, which controls whether foreign currency revaluation for contract assets occurs during deferred revenue reclassification. By default, this setting is turned on, so be sure to consider whether you need to turn it off once your account is upgraded. The name field from an account record and its localized versions will no longer be displayed with the associated account number. Instead, if the Use Account Numbers preference is enabled, the Display Name field will display the account number. This change also applies to the name field for the 2020.2 endpoint. In NetSuite 21.1, SuiteAnalytics workbooks and search transactions reports now include a balanced by segments field. If the balanced segments feature is enabled, this feature will identify transactions that are not balanced by segments. Next, I'll highlight some updates to NetSuite's banking features. The Reconcile Bank Statement and Reconcile Credit Card Statement pages are scheduled for removal in a future release. If you use these pages, begin transitioning to the redesigned Account Reconciliation feature, which includes the Match Bank Data and Reconcile Account Statement pages. To transition, reconcile all held statements for each account, then check the Use Match Bank Data and Reconcile Account Statement pages box on relevant accounts. Newly created accounts will already have this box checked. Please reach out to us if you need any help ensuring a smooth transition. NetSuite 2021.1 addresses a problem in which a single failed bank or credit card account caused the entire import to fail. Now, bank data imports can be partially complete, and account-specific errors will be presented. On the Match Bank Data page, account transactions that do not have a bank line to match can be marked as cleared pending submission. These transactions appear on the Review subtab. After submission, transactions appear on the Reconcile subtab on the Reconcile Account Statement page, automatically marked for reconciliation. Moving on to inventory management updates. Release 21.1 includes multiple enhancements to NetSuite supply planning. Some notable inclusions are the ability to assign a material production schedule and/or a material requirements plan in the planning results, a workbench date-based view that enables review of item and location planning results by period, and a new high-impact late demand threshold. NetSuite has enhanced its supply allocation features with the Order Management Dashboard. This page will show orders that need immediate attention, provide access to the allocation management tools you need, and help managers see how supplies are being allocated. Supply allocation has been enhanced in a number of other ways, including the inclusion of allocated quantity in snapshot calculations, improved accuracy of supply chain snapshot results through blanket purchase order and inbound shipment sources, the ability to designate inventory and future supplies to sales orders in sales channels, a new button to find the best location on the earliest availability pop-up window, automatic numbering support in Snapshot, and new reallocation recommendations for transfer orders. For additional information about any of these topics, please contact Squire. NetSuite WMS 21.1 includes several enhancements designed to improve your ability to manage inventory. For inbound processing, you can now perform cart moves for received items. Using your mobile device, you can move inventory from a staging bin, tracking the quantity, bin, and cart information. Items can be transferred from a cart to a storage location in either a full or partial put-away. Additionally, inventory statuses can now be set when performing a put-away of received items. Speaking of inventory status, the inventory mobile page now includes a change inventory status option, which you can use to change the inventory status of items using your mobile device. WMS 21.1 has been updated to enhance outbound processing as well. The wave release transaction functionality has been improved to include bulk order processing, which generates a single pick task for the consolidated order quantity for an item across all orders in the wave. Scheduled wave releases, allowing you to release waves to the warehouse according to a schedule, and the ability to release waves from your mobile device for single orders from the single order picking page. Additionally, NetSuite has released the new PackStation Suite app to complement NetSuite WMS, as well as the FIFO Lot Allocations Suite app. These will be discussed later in the presentation, so stay tuned. NetSuite Quality Management has received some enhancements as well. After the update, mandatory assignment from inspection records will be removed and transferred to date fields. This will allow for a more efficient tablet experience through customization of inspections and specification definitions. The Quality Management Suite app now includes 2 new field types. The Select field type allows quality engineers to choose a field from a predefined list. The URL field type allows for the input of a link to supplemental and external information, such as Dropbox or OneDrive. For manufacturing functions, we have one notable update. Manufacturing Mobile 2021.1 now supports work orders with routing. This will allow you to use a scanner to collect information and process work orders with routing. Using the Suite app, you can scan a WIP work order with routing for a work center and report work done for an operation step for a WIP work center. Now onto order management. Release 2021.1 includes 2 enhancements to the invoice groups feature. First, an Add to Group button now appears on an invoice when it is able to be grouped. Selecting this button will display a list of available invoice groups. Second, invoices not associated with sales orders can now be added to an invoice group. This can be especially useful if you want to group imported invoices. Electronic bank payments now supports vendor prepayment processing from the Instant Bank File page. This will generate bank files for prepayments created in NetSuite with the status of paid. Additionally, the Electronic Bank Payments Suite app now has support for multi-subsidiary customers and vendors, allowing you to assign a primary bank to each subsidiary, create multiple bank records per entity based on the country in which it operates, and process transactions for other subsidiaries. Now for some updates pertaining to vendors, purchasing, and receiving in NetSuite. One of the large updates in this area for NetSuite 2021.1 is centralized purchasing and billing for One World accounts. With this feature, you can cut down on transfers between locations by receiving orders and fulfilling vendor returns across multiple subsidiaries. After enabling this feature, line items for items and expenses on purchase orders will have a target subsidiary and a target location column. Setting these fields will override the subsidiary and location fields for that line item. When items are received from a centralized purchase order, each target subsidiary creates their own receipt. This feature can be used both for individual and bulk order receipt processing. When a bill is created for centralized purchase orders, all PO lines received previously will transfer to the bill automatically. This feature will enable the automation of intercompany cross-charges between billing and target subsidiary. This automation can be set to run when the accounting period is closed. This feature also applies to vendor returns, allowing for automatic intercompany cross-charging for returns as well. After updating your account, you can set a default vendor payment account preference. This will allow you to assign a default vendor payment account on a company, subsidiary, or vendor level. Lower level preferences will override those of a higher level, meaning an individual vendor's payment account preference will override that of a subsidiary or company as a whole. These changes will result in some changes to vendor prepayment and bill payments. The account, subsidiary, and currency fields will not be available until the payee field has been populated. After, each of the fields will be populated based on the preferences you set. There is one more minor enhancement for this area that I wanted to mention. If you have an advanced receiving feature enabled, you can click Bill on the item receipt transaction to create a bill. If the quantity you receive and the quantity ordered are different, the system will deduct the quantity on the item receipt from the purchase order. After upgrading your account to the 2021.1 version, you will notice some small changes to the user interface. First, I want to mention that NetSuite has given advance notice that support for some browsers will be ending at the next release, 2021.2. These browsers include Microsoft Internet Explorer 11, Microsoft Edge, the Edge HTML version, not the Chromium version you're likely using if you use Edge, and any version of Safari prior to 13.1. If you are using one of these browsers, consider transitioning to a new browser before this takes effect later this year. As another minor change, NetSuite is ending support for the reset button on standard form pages immediately. If you want to revert to the original version of a record, simply use the refresh button in your browser. Now for some updates to one of my favorite NetSuite features, SuiteAnalytics. Though it is still relatively basic, NetSuite's built-in data analysis and reporting tool continues to become more and more useful for finding and viewing information hidden within your account data, in a presentation format that is both user-friendly and attractive. If you want to learn how you can start using this tool, please contact Squire for help. The new My Transactions SuiteAnalytics workbook shows all transactions that have been created by you within the last year. It can be customized with additional filters and data, and it can be viewed as a table, chart, or pivot. The workbook also includes pivot tables summarizing transactions by currency and by period. This tool can be useful in many ways, including identifying transactions that need to be transitioned into the next step of the transaction workflow. A new feature to SuiteAnalytics Workbook called NetSuite Analytics Warehouse allows you to broaden your data analysis by including data from multiple sources, even those living outside of NetSuite. This feature is currently in beta. NetSuite has added the ability to create calculated measures in SuiteAnalytics Workbook. You can use custom measures created from existing measures to enhance pivot tables and charts. Also, SuiteAnalytics Workbook now supports conditional formatting in table view and pivot tables. You can now highlight results based on the rules you want, including using fields containing number or string values, custom formula fields, or calculated measures. Finally, I will go over some of the new SuiteApps designed to enhance various operations in your business. For businesses operating internationally, the Advanced Localization Features SuiteApp allows creation of localized printable invoices and credit memos to comply with tax regulations and business needs wherever you operate. Using the SuiteApp, you can have 2 advanced PDF HTML templates for invoices and credit memos, use additional fields added to subsidiary and customer records, and much more. Projected to be available in spring 2021, the new PackStation mobile app complements NetSuite WMS by extending order fulfillment processing capabilities. This app includes the following capabilities: find items that have the same shipping route and pack them at the same time, increase visibility into items and orders packed across multiple cartons or pallets, print carton labels, pallet labels, bill of lading, and packing lists from a kiosk device, capture weights from a scale through a kiosk device. The FIFO lot allocation suite app will allocate lot numbered items to sales order lines on a first expiry, first out basis. This is based on customer shelf requirements and minimum order fulfillment needs. This suite app works with the supply allocation feature and should not be used with an order allocation schedule. The deduction and chargeback management suite app allows for efficient accounting for customer deductions, chargebacks, and small balance write-offs. With it, you can automatically identify short payments and apply deductions, split invoices to apply deductions as a chargeback to the same invoice, set limits for small balance write-offs per currency type, and more. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, there are far too many new changes to cover here. There are many other areas of NetSuite that are benefiting from enhancements that I did not mention. Many of these areas are noted here. If you would like additional information regarding enhancements to account setup and maintenance, internationalization, taxation, or any other area, we would be happy to go over those with you individually. And that brings us to the end of our release summary. I hope that this information has been helpful. Once again, if you have any questions about anything I talked about today, or anything I didn't, please feel free to contact us by emailing netsuite@squire.com, or by talking to your friendly NetSuite expert here at Squire. If you would like to read the release notes published by NetSuite, you can find them in the Release 21.1 window of your account, or by clicking the link in the description below. If you are interested in expert NetSuite implementation or support, visit squire.com to learn more. From Squire, we wish you and your business the best, and thank you for watching.